Well, I bet you never thought you'd see a video about this from me, huh? Yes, the Moto X. Now, if you watched my last video, the Tech Talk video, I kind of scrutinized the Moto X a little bit, saying, why is it getting so much hype? And after doing that, I decided, let's see if there's a reason for it, a valid, good reason. And the more I looked up different things this week and read different things, and leaks came out too out the wazoo this week, I started to really get an eye for what the Moto X could be. If everything that's supposed to happen comes through, the Moto X could really be the iPhone killer, air quotes, that Android's been waiting for. Now, some people might argue that the Galaxy S3 is the iPhone killer, or the 4, or the HTC One, because of its metal design, people compare it to that all the time. But imagine this. A device like the Moto X with supposedly a dual-core processor, about 1.5 gigahertz, optimized to run Android extremely well with a near-stock experience. Now compare that to the iPhone 5, which I believe, don't quote me, I believe is a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core processor. Now, yes, we know that iOS doesn't require as much resources, but with a lot of good optimization, I don't see why we can't get the same experience. Think about that for a minute. How many people do you hear complain, I don't want to use Android because it's buggy and slow? Quite a few, probably. Quite a few. Or complain about that. We don't necessarily need, say, a 2.3 gigahertz quad-core processor like on the Xperia Z Ultra, which is 6.4 inches and a huge phone. But we don't necessarily need that. Think about why you get that when you're buying a phone and you're like, I gotta have awesome specs. You do that because you want a smooth experience. You're not going to be coding on it. You're not going to be, I mean, you might run an emulator if you're like me, but that's, not that big of a deal. You do it and you want it because you want a smooth experience. Also to last longer. So if Motorola and Google can provide this experience with mid-range specs, mid-range, it was high-end last year, I don't see why that should be a problem. If they can keep rolling out updates that are just smooth and a near stock experience to boot, I don't see why that's a problem. It's got decent specs. I believe an Adreno 320 GPU. That's not a bad GPU by any stretch. 10.5 clear pixel camera. Clear pixel. That's interesting because in the smartphone world now, nobody knows if it's less is more or more is more. HTC One with 4 ultra pixels takes great pictures. Nokia Lumia 1020 41, stunning pictures also. Resolution is an issue there. So why 10.5? I don't know. It's been 8 or 13 megapixels. Traditionally, could be different. I don't know. That's another good question. But the biggest question, and the one that's going to determine whether or not I get the Moto X, price. Now Motorola's hinted that it's going to be ballpark in the Nexus range. Now take a minute to think about that. Off contract, you buy it, you use it wherever you want, well, within certain limitations. You're not in any contract. It's a smooth experience. For $300, $350, near stock experience, you're basically getting a Nexus that's customizable. Seems like a pretty good deal to me. If that's the case, and say the Moto X is $350, I wouldn't go much more than $350, not $400. You got yourselves a killer deal. A smooth Android experience, no contracts, for $350, customizable, with some pretty decent specs. That's awesome. We're gonna find out hopefully on August 1st, release details, spec details, customization details, what you're finally gonna be able to do. at the New York event on August 1st. We'll see. Coincidentally, also the day that the HTC One is supposed to come out on Verizon. And to be honest, Moto X has got my attention. If it's gonna come out fairly soon, and on Verizon, I'm probably gonna skip that HTC One if it hits that price point. I'm storing up cash, waiting to see if it's gonna be around that price. You can bet it's gonna be mine. I don't see a need to waste an upgrade on HTC One when I can get the Moto X probably close to the same price, because Verizon's probably gonna be a jerk and charge $200 for it. So what do you think? Last week I know I said why. This week I'm saying, why not? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you get a Moto X for $300? If you're gonna pay $200 on contract for a good phone, why wouldn't you spend an extra $100 to do whatever you want with it? Customize it. Get a smooth experience. Get a near stock experience. Seems like a no-brainer. Made in America. America! We're getting some patriotism in here. I'm liking the sound of this device now. We're gonna have to wait and see till August 1st, but I don't know about you, but I'm liking this. What do you think? If it's $350, would you get one? Do you like the idea of an extremely optimized yet mid-range device for Android? What do you think about the camera? 10.5 megapixels isn't necessarily important, but the fact that it's a bump up from the traditional 8 versus step down, like the 1. What are your thoughts on the Moto X? This could be a home run if all these things come together to make one really sweet device. I'm interested to see. I'm even more interested to see what you think, because I don't think I'm the only one with these thoughts anymore. Have my opinions changed your mind? Have they stirred up any ideas, any thoughts in your brain? Let me know. Shoot me a message, put it in the comment. I respond pretty quickly. I always got my phone on me. Most people do. So let me know. As always, thanks a ton for watching. Thanks for all your support. Please feel free to leave me a question if you have any sort of suggestions for a video even. I have a surprise coming up. Remember I told you about a week or two ago that there were some changes happening to my channel? We're gonna find out at the end of this video. So that is all. That's Moto X Talk. That was a P90X thing if you've ever done P90X. Here comes your surprise for the next video. Peace out.
I've got my top designers banging away on a script right now. As soon as it's ready, we'll send it right over.
Script?